Good morning, good evening, and good day to whenever you're watching this. Hello, G1s. It's Tom the Iron Man here, back for the G1 interview here on G1 Features for ScrewAttack.com. Now, here today, I have the man who runs the show, the one you know, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. You would know him best as MadHero15, and the man who runs this fine little outfit we like to call the G1 Features. MadHero, sir, are you there?
I am, actually. It's right now 11 p.m. here in the Netherlands, so that's why the room is a little bit dark. I have to get all the lights out and stuff. That's also explaining the flickering.
Yeah.
But yes, I am here, and hi, everyone.
Hey now! Yes, and thank you for meeting with me. I know the timing has not been ideal, and of course, as we always joke via emails, there's always something that goes on with a G1 interview. So comedy ensues, hijinks will be had, and high fives will be made afterwards. So to that, thank you very much for hanging with me this late in the evening for you. So, you know, a little slightly different outfit for myself. I'm wearing a blazer and an afternoon tie instead of a one that I would normally wear. So this is all nice, fun, and different for all parties involved today. So, big question, MadHero. How'd you first hear of Screw Attack?
I think like most people, when compared to like during the V3, V4 days, heard of of Screw Attack through game trailers. I heard it through game trailers. I watched a lot. I think not necessarily through the AVGN at first. I think. Mostly through the top 10 list that GT was famous for at the time, the GT countdown.
Yeah.
You see those a lot at the time. I think the first one I saw was like the best and worst games of all time from like 2006. So it's quite fun to see that now today and just, compare it to nowadays. But anyway, through those lists, I also saw the Screw Attack top 10s and just like, okay, who are these guys? What makes them, these are different and just sort of interesting. And then you also saw they were attached to AVGN and a bunch of other stuff. And I checked the site, like I lurked on the site, like during version 3 and then like almost right at the end, I didn't really follow the community and stuff. And then when version 4 began, that is when I decided, yeah, you know what, I'll start here. I'll go see what it's like. This was like 2010, 11?
Yeah, version 4 launched as a private beta after SGC 09, and then went full on
already,
in 2010 as a full on by I think I want to say February, almost in time.
I never experienced the beta. I just experienced like right when V4 launched.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been 10 for sure.
Yeah,
and that was a hell of a time to join in too, because that's when like all the social networking, it's like networking but not as effective. Social networking features had been implemented, like the talkback bar, which I miss so bad to this very day.
Talkback bar, that is a great tragedy that's gone. That is, I understand the reason that it's patented by whoever made the previous sites, but it sucks because it was such a great feature to have. So yeah, that is unfortunate, but it was an interesting time for sure. Like version 4, especially starting. I think a lot of people started around that time.
Oh yeah.
So I just got to know a lot of people, got to know a lot of new people, and it's it grew on me. It got me through high school, or at least the last parts of high school.
Yeah. That was a good run for that, too. Yeah, the nice thing about that, and we'll get into it in a minute, was the immediate feedback that you got by way of the talkback bar. If it would almost be worth full screen trouble to actually go ahead and get in contact. I believe it was Giant Realm was the company that was responsible for version 4 to actually go ahead and acquire that technology from them. If nothing else for Full Screen's own site, but to go ahead and in turn parlay that back to Screw Attack, because that was, if you wrote a good blog, you found out almost immediately if it was a good blog when somebody would vote something to 11.
Let's see. I remember, I don't even know when my first blog was anymore. It was awful, I know that much. I know most of my writing, like looking back at all the writing I did back in version 4, I was, like when the version 5 purge was going to happen, that every blog was going to go away. And then, I was decided, okay, gotta save everything, gotta make sure that everything is saved and that I can put it on Screw Attack again when the new version has arrived. And then I look back at it and you're like, good God, it's terrible. Why would I keep this? But then later on, I just remember the first time I got a comment, I don't even know the blog anymore, but I was just so happy to immediately get response for it. That was so cool. at the time. So that's yeah, that is the immediacy of it made it so cool. In fact, it's what like well, what Facebook does when you just
Yeah, exactly. Kind of funny how that, in many respects, the talkback bar was ahead of what Zuckerberg's laboratories were pumping out even back then. So that's something else. And it's funny that you remember the great version 4 Purge. I was kind of fortunate in the sense that almost all of my work at that point had been exclusively video, so I could get back to doing that again. But I remember frantically trying to help Stickman, even as far back as then trying to back up all the body of work that he had put out back then. And it was... I thought it'd be no problem with simple copy-paste until I realized exactly how much stuff he had written. I'm like, man...
Yeah, it was crazy.
I know they gave us a deadline to have all that stuff backed up upon, but for some people like him, whew, those were some dark days trying to get that stuff done.
Oh, yeah, that's, like, for a lot of people who are proud of their work. I mean, not that I wasn't proud of my work, of some of the stuff I'd done. I mean, looking back at it, like, looking back at a lot of stuff, you think, oh, this was garbage, why did I do this? But then, it's also something, the thing that happened that made me happy, and they, it's especially, like, I think with version 4, I did a lot of collaborations with other G1s, like many top 10 lists together, and that was a very cool thing to do, and that is something I'm very proud of doing. That the actual list isn't that great in retrospect is, okay, it made me happy doing it.
Yeah, so, it's like what you're able to put it in context, free it from the quality of the work and say, like, this is what I did back then. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I were to try it again, I could how to make it better. That kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So what'd you say about that time during those days was when you officially became a G1, that you transcended and became MadHero15?
Yeah, I think that's the time that really sort of happened, that around that time, like immediately when version 4 began, when I posted a blog, which I think in retrospect was like something like franchises that were left in the dust or something like that, stuff like Banjo-Kazooie and whatnot, and or sort of like badly remade. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, that was the time, like, okay, I get response, this is cool, I love getting these response, getting people to talk about it. And then, yeah, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to continue doing this. Yeah, cool. That's when I felt I became a G1, and, getting to talk to more people. That was also just really cool to just, have a community there.
Yeah, something to have your back, because, anybody can post something up onto YouTube and see whether it sticks, but actually having a network of people there, both friend and critic, to give you that feedback, and also to be able to talk to them about other stuff and collab and all that fun stuff. That's truly magic. Lightning in a bottle, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of lightning in a bottle, what's your current favorite show on the site right now?
Current favorite show on the site right now? Ooh, that is tough. The obvious answer would be Death Battle, because, there's always,
yeah.
There's always some fun stuff over there, and it's the one that I actively go and watch. That is the one that, oh, new Death Battle, I'll go check that out. But I think I also have to, give a shout out to the thing that got me there in the first place, which are the new top 10 lists.
Oh, yeah. So glad to have those back.
I think so far they've done a pretty good job with a lot of them. I think, they are a lot of fun, and I think it was interesting because they did, like, right around the middle of version 5 when they did the top 10, top 5, top 10, top 5 thing, and those...
yeah, it was so meta and surreal all at once.
Yeah, weren't very good, and now they seem to have put more time into it. And it's actually, like, a lot of fun. I just recently saw the top 10 worst Wii U games.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to be writing that list, but it was a damn funny one all the same.
It's just a shame Devil's Third isn't out yet in the
yeah, that would either be an honorable mention or #1 as a dead given based on what the initial previews are. And I don't know if the compressor is shutting it out, guys, but it seems that the landlady is having hired help mow the lawn outside. So if you do hear a lawnmower, I do apologize.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, so cool deal. The compressors are doing their jobs then. Very nice. Yeah, no, and speaking of Death Battle, how about the one that just debuted last week?
Wolverine vs. Raiden?
Yeah.
I always prefer the 2D ones compared to the 3D ones. I don't know, there's something that's a bit weird to explain without being mean. It's just, sometimes the animation is a bit awkward there. Though it's gotten really, really good. It's surprising just how far it has come.
Yeah, seriously.
I like Wolverine vs. Raiden. I thought it was very cool, and when it first was announced, can I spoil it, or?
I think that by the time this goes live, I think with enough time will have passed. I usually like to say a week, and that's probably going to be about when this is going to go up. So by all means, go right ahead.
Okay, I thought Wolverine was going to win easily.
I thought he was too, and I was like, there's going to be one thing that would put it in Raiden's advantage, and I didn't know if they were going to go down that road, or if it even was possible to go down that road, and somehow they found a canonical way that they did. I was just as surprised as the outcome as you were.
Yeah, it's just like, because there's the healing factor of Wolverine.
Yeah,
and that healing factor is so overpowered, so crazy, you think, okay, it's going to be like the Deathstroke fight. It's just
exactly.
Be like,
who can out-heal each other?
Anything. He's just going to heal and heal all the time. But then, you kind of forget, because I don't know, like, you kind of forget how strong Raiden is in Revengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of, I forgot about that, and just like, oh, right, he really is that, that crazy OP in the Revengeance, holding the metal, like, throwing the Metal Gear around in, like, the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, exactly. That's before he got the new suit. That's, pretty ridiculous. And it's funny that you bring that up. There was a Wolverine Punisher crossover. And
not surprised there.
Yeah, okay. It was pretty weird. Frank Castle thought like there was some goon going around leaving 3 claw marks on his victims, and of course he thought it was Wolverine, so he started hunting him down and found out that and he could just tell by looking that these claw marks aren't the same as Wolverine, so it was really just a writer's excuse to try to have like Wolverine in there, I guess, to maybe sell the crossover or whatever.
Just an easy excuse to get people to get comic book characters to punch one another.
Yeah, and it was just like, well, this is weird. And then apparently Frank was just having him tag along as just so people to try to like lure the real guy out that was killing these people. And when he did, he basically took a steamroller and just drove it over on top of Wolverine just to stop him. Like, and I mean like head, foot, steamroller, And the only way he ever actually escaped from it was because Spider-Man came around and said, "What's this all about?" Picks up the steamroller and he's like, "I'm gonna kill Frank." And it was like thinking, okay, if Ryan's going to win, he's gonna have to do something like that to Wolverine, because I was like, he's definitely stronger. Never mind what he was able to do against a Metal Gear Ray and Metal Gear Excelsis, but he also stopped an Arsenal Gear from running aground in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, right.
And back then we were having a debate just based on like up through Chapter 3, who was stronger, Gray Fox or Raiden. And somebody in my store had already gotten up through Chapter 4 and he said, Raiden's stronger, and I'm not going to say why. And of course there was the whole thing as to whether he was going to actually be able to kill Wolverine. Well, that was the other thing. It's like, well, we know his targeting system is really, really precise. Maybe he would be able to cut in between the vertebrae of his neck, and then Ben said the whole thing on Death Battle Live that like there's interlocking adamantium links between the bones, and I'm like, Ryan's fucked. Oh no. And well, go watch it for yourself. We won't spoil it any more than we already have. You already know the ending.
We've already spoiled who wins. But,
you know the ending.
Now
go find the journey to that ending for yourself. So, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Now, parlaying off of that, we all have our favorite bands, and within those bands we all have our favorite members, much like how we all have our favorite instrumentalist from Led Zeppelin. Who do you find yourself being gravitated towards as one of the HQ members?
That's a bit like the current ones right now. Or,
you know what? It was initially current until we had Revulsive on, and we know who he went for anyway. So let's go ahead and open it to all time.
All time is definitely Jared. I think Jared is just, that is just, he was the best. He was the funniest. He was one of the most hardworking ones. Mm-hmm. Just did a lot of cool stuff. And I'm so happy that, since the Nickelodeon
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. Yes, that was a thing.
Yeah, I'm so glad that he has made it in as a big, how do you call that?
He's arrived in a way.
Yeah, he's definitely, he has gotten big. He's gotten on a good level. Like, I'm trying to think, like a big YouTuber who does really, really well for himself, and that's something I'm really happy with, that he's doing that well, because his videos are still a lot of fun. Like like his Chrono Trigger one that he recently did. Oh, that was such a great tribute to that game.
You know, it's funny how that actually debuted on the day of its anniversary.
I think that was the plan.
That was the plan, although I don't know if his Mega Man X7 video was intended to be that way, because the day it went live at SGC was the day of its anniversary in Japan. I don't think he did that on purpose.
No, that seems a bit too...
but!
Like, of current members, I'd say I'd go for some reason, Brian, and maybe that's because, like me, he's a fellow Arsenal fan, and that's that's a very...
the footballer connection.
Yeah, a very materialistic reason for liking him, but I don't know, there's something about him that you just want to give him a hug or something.
Yeah, he's calm, cool, he's collected, he is with it, he's aware of the situation, and he's
more
also
behind the scenes these days.
Yeah, I make the reference to it all the time after any stream. Brian is best board op, and after actually having been to the HQ and seeing exactly how big their board is, Brian is best board op.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy, and yeah, you know, it's like the ones who are behind the scenes the most are the ones that are working the hardest. You know, not to diminish the work that everybody else has been doing. We definitely see it, but it's just like when nothing goes wrong, you know, he's done everything right. You know, I mean, there's so much to him. So yeah, kudos.
Yeah. Kudos to him. Kudos to Brian.
Absolutely, Bri. Nice stuff. So now while still on this subject of site matters, what was the last thing that you saw on the site that genuinely made you laugh? And I mean, like, belly laugh. Oh my god, I can't believe I just saw that happen.
I'd say two things. One of them is probably the Knuckles versus Donkey Kong death battle. The part with the minecarts.
Right, yeah.
That was pretty great. That gave me a good chuckle there. And then for the other one is probably the debut trailer for the industry. I think that was a really good one.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to see that.
I hope it's good.
Finally come out.
You know, like, we're old enough G1s to have experienced real, like, the clip of the week and really, you know, sort of the apex of that. You know, that time when Screw Attack was willing to go, you know, willing to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and not really, you know, like, like this much, or give it that many likes or that many views, or this show will be dead forever.
And on one hand, it's kind of jarring to see them say that, but on the other hand, it's also refreshing to tell us that they're willing to say that this show is not going to stay around if you guys don't support it. But I see what you mean, you know, that they're, like, going back to that unscripted content, or I'm sorry, live action content that really set them apart from other personas on the internet. And I'm using that word very specifically because there are personas and personalities. I've always thought that Screw Attack has personalities and not personas, because typically who you see on the camera is the same person you meet in real life. And I can't say the same for a lot of other YouTubers that I've met in IRL over the last couple of years. I'm not going to name names for obvious reasons, but out of respect, and I don't want to cause a flame war at the same time. But
no worries.
Yeah. But the industry, I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't know if you got a chance to catch the opening ceremonies live stream at SGC, but they actually showed one of the 2 episodes that they have
I've seen very little of SGC 2015.
Okay.
I don't know why. I didn't know, like, it happened. I was on vacation at the time, and then when I got back...
Wait, was this when you were in Edmonton?
Oh, I was in Canada in general, yeah. But, yeah, around that time when that all went down, and then, you know, when I got back, I just sort of... I saw some parts. I saw Craig beat Mike Tyson. That I saw, not live, but I saw the video of it that you posted, right?
Yes, yeah, the supercut, yeah.
Awesome.
The reason why I was asking if you'd seen any of it was that they actually showed one of the 2 episodes during opening ceremonies, and I don't know if it's still on the YouTube channel. It's about 20 minutes in, but go ahead and check it out. For those of you who don't know the premise of the industry, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but
Just say what was in the trailer.
Okay. I mean, I was invited to the HQ by Hybrid Rain, and they showed me something. But the one of the 2 episodes that they showed at SGC was what I saw 3 days earlier. The premise of the industry is the old day in the life videos and the clip of the week put together. So basically, I'm sorry, and I forgot something else very important. Newsroom. Does everybody remember Newsroom?
Newsroom died too early.
It died too early for obvious reasons and entanglements and what have you, but
yeah,
it's basically taking all of those 3 things and putting them in together and adding a little artistic license to the whole scenario to make it for the sake of comedy, and that's basically what it is. And when I drew the analogy to Newsroom after watching this, Bolin said Newsroom is my favorite show that ScrewTech ever did.
Oh, wow.
So you could actually... I can't stress this enough, guys. When it comes out, please watch it. And that'll help validate MadHero's selection here. Because it's the latest version of that trailer that they showed off at Death Battle had some After Effects images in there that were not there in previous incarnations of that trailer, which has me really excited what the final version is.
I can only assume Torian has been busy with all the effects, or does he only do the 3D animation?
Torian does the 3D stuff for Death Battle. The other gentleman that does the 2D animation, he is not in-house because Torian's computers continue to take over the office. They showed me where he started and how many spaces he has now.
Needs more power!
Exactly. I'm just like starting to like wait that I go into the office like next year if they invite me back and just have like Torian turns on a computer and there's a brownout, like half the office dims.
Skynet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's gonna be pretty amazing. Just stay tuned, folks. So now that that's out and about, Mad Hero, sir, what do you feel the G1s best know you for?
Oh, yeah, I think right now that's probably, if they know it, because some of them probably don't, especially, like, mostly through Twitter people know, is that I run G1 Features. That's the big collaboration project that is...
Here's to you, man.
Yeah, that is, I'm pretty much the head honcho for it, and I basically run the stuff that is going on there. And currently that is only... at the Scroovies and this show, the G1 interview, but there is a partnership going on with VG Batsu. They just haven't really updated their content with the stuff that I personally want, but it's just sort of, a collaborative project together that's sort of to show off their stuff on the ScrewTech, because it's really, really good and they deserve more attention. So
yes. And for those of you who do not know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, and then there's also G1 Best Ever, which is currently in the process of getting a bit of a reboot because sort of get more people involved. Not necessarily get more people involved, but just sort of make it so that I am less involved with it, if that makes any sense. Because right now, like, I am starting my 4th year of school, and editing G1 Best Ever is demanding, especially when it sort of grew and grew too big for its own good.
Right.
So then I'm sort of, we're scaling it back a bit, but also sort of, making it better. And then for the rest, there's also Woody Man and A Zero to Heroes blog series, Hit Stun, which is about fighting games.
Yes.
It's right now that's also going on a bit of a hiatus because Zero is busy with school. But yeah, those are all the stuff that is currently on the G1 Features. And right now it's a bit of, like I said, a bit only of Scroovies and G1 interviews. But we are working on getting those all back together at some point.
Streamlining and making it autonomous. Yeah. It seems what it seems to be the name of the game.
And then also there's G1 Features podcast, which I do with a very good friend of mine, Gear12. He's not really active on the site right now or anymore, but he is someone I've known for such a long time that I really want to, that I can talk to a lot. And there was the G1 Features, the original podcast on G1 Features, the non-playable podcast, which was ambitious for its own good because there were people from, let's see, me, the Netherlands, then there was Side Smash from America,
right,
Big Joe from Canada, and then Frank Hagar from Sweden, and that's 4 different time zones, and all, see, okay, who has time, and that was too ambitious for its own good. So scaling it back to 2, and we haven't really done an episode since the E3 one, which was our pilot episode. But that's also coming back when I have better audio equipment and all that good stuff.
I can help you out with if cost-effective equipment when we're all done here, if you'd like. That has helped me in pursuit of this and as well as my streaming on the side. But just to reiterate what he just went over here, guys, there's a ton of stuff, almost an embarrassment of riches, if you will, about what G1 Features produces. If you've not subbed it on the site, you're doing yourself an incredible disservice.
Right now, it is just like if you go on the recent, it's just interviews, scroobies, interviews, scroobies, interviews, scroobies, and then it's just like I really should get working on the other stuff and should maybe poke the other guys like, hey, maybe we should make more content. But you know, this is something that is a very volatile go. Like, this isn't a job that you get paid for. I can't go like, make this now and do it now. Oh, and make sure it's all good and stuff and professional. This is something that we. This isn't a job. This is something that we do out of love, out of making content, and out of love of writing and producing and the stuff we do. And that is, you know, you can't really force that. That is, I mean, I try to push people to sort of do stuff, but I can't really force them. But yeah, that is currently right now. Like, I've talked to Azero about Hitstun. That is coming back at some point. It's just right now he's busy with school, like I mentioned, and G1 podcast, the G1 Features podcast will be coming back soon as well.
Good. Yeah, no, that was man, Hitstun in and of itself is the sidebar that real quick. Fighting games are incredibly complex. If you've ever heard Chad talk about them on any level, regardless of whether it's Smash Brothers or Third Strike, like any good sandwich, there are many layers to it. And the one contribution that I put into Hitstun, I probably clocked close to 36 hours to make a video that was barely 7 minutes long.
Wow.
That is an incredibly good group of people. If you like fighting games, and I'm not just saying that just to plug my contribution when they did Street Fighter 4. Screw that. I mean, whatever. There's been stuff since then. If you like fighting games, go check out Hitstun. You will not be disappointed.
Well, there's currently the Street Fighter 4 episode, and then there's plans of making other stuff, but right now...
Well, they were talking about their favorite mains for, like, Mortal Kombat, I think was the last one that they did. Or did that one get published? Did I just trip on something?
No, that didn't get published.
Oh, okay.
Yet. That is something that is still gonna be in the works someday. Probably when...
Well, it's gonna be a really good Mortal Kombat when it's finished, guys. Hey!
Yeah. That's probably going to be for X, then, I assume. Like,
yeah, no, it actually was. I was talking to Woody Man in passing about that. Because the formula, as he explained it to me, was that they do... it's set up kind of like Scrivies, where they talk about it, and then 2 episodes in, they open it up to community discussion to, like, what their favorite things are.
Yeah.
And that's where my video contribution came from for that. But yeah, like I said, guys, embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
Sub G1 Features, keep it going, read it, pass it on, let more people know.
We'd really appreciate it. And also comments. Comments are always nice as well.
Yes, it's like what we were talking about earlier, we need the feedback as to whether we're doing it correctly or incorrectly, or what you like or don't like or something. You know, when somebody gives you an anonymous survey and you're like, why would I want to do that? Surveys are the only way things get better. And comments are like surveys for us. So actually, this would be a good time to talk about that. I was going to bring it up later. How do people that want to contribute to G1 Features, how would they get in touch to bring their ideas to the table?
Oh, generally just, you know, send a PM to G1 Features or send something. Or I'm generally available on Twitter. That's where I mostly hang out and talk about my stuff on G1 Features. Yeah, go to that over there. I think I'm pointing... at the wrong,
the wrong direction. I'll flip it around.
Yeah. This way.
Yeah, guys. There you go.
But anyway, that is, you know, that, like, if you just contact me, because that's how Hitstun gets started as well. Just sort of like, buddy, man, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this project that I want to get started on. I want a bigger audience for it, and it's a collaborative project, because that's what we're really looking for, something that is very collaborative. That is what we're mainly looking for, something that, you know, brings G1s together. And then, yeah, that is, if you have a cool idea, then send it away and we can talk about it and see what we can do. in terms of scheduling, and then that's it's very easy. Hopefully,
that's the end game. Otherwise, a program like this wouldn't exist. And to that end, I should have said this at the front of the show. How this came about was that I noticed back in March you put out a call out for someone to step up to the plate because Master Wayne was going off to university and he would not have time for it.
Yeah.
And I expressed interest, and I said I wouldn't be able to do it until the end of the semester. If someone else shows up, please let the program go, because I enjoyed G1 interviews prior to that. Somehow things worked out, and here we are today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me this opportunity. I likened it to Johnny Carson taking after Jack Parr retired from The Tonight Show. It was a tough act to follow. So hopefully I'll be 1/10 of what Carson was to Jack Parr to what I was to Master Wayne. And so far, again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Like I said,
basically
at the end of every show,
Leno or
I don't want to be Leno. I'd rather be Letterman. But I mean, you know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
But yes, so there you go, guys. Please, PM G1 Features on the site, or MadHero himself on Twitter if you'd like to get involved with this, because there's something for everybody. And of course, the breadth and depth of the content that the G1's write on Screw Attack, there's room for everything.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. If you have an idea and you want it out there, you know who to get in contact with now.
Blogging is fun, so if you want to contribute, that's totally cool.
Yeah, and that actually, let's keep going with that. Where did the whole initiative for G1 Features come from? Did Nick Fury appear to you at the end of a movie and saying, "Did you want to join?" How did the whole thing? I want you to be a part of the G1 Features initiative. How did this all happen?
This is. It should probably be mentioned that G1 Features was not something that I started. That was Jet's ACX.
Yes.
And he started it very much in mind of, collaborative projects that, let me think, Ask the Experts was one of them, Cinemattack.
Oh, yeah.
G1 Previews was also part of that's how I got started with G1 Features. And then I think, blogs were down, just no one was really reading or commenting. It was just kind of depressing to really just and then G1 Features only really consisted of Cinemattack and G1 Previews, and G1 Previews was a monthly thing, so that's hardly got ever, was only there once in a while, and I just sort of noticed, hey, is anything really happening with G1 Features? I talked with Jets about it. He just said, I can't really continue with this. I am super busy with stuff, and so it's just like, hey, maybe I can take it over, see what I can do, and then sort of okay, that's how I pretty much got put in charge of G1 Features, and then sort of I then posted a blog called G1 Features: The Resurrection, sort of
Resurrection.
Very, very great title, I know, but it's basically sort of explaining the situation, because G1 Features was just sort of, it was there, no one really, and I was just sort of talking about my plans, some plans that worked out, some of them that didn't. But all in all, sort of okay, it got such a huge response, bigger than I could ever imagine. Sort of hey, we are bringing this back. These are the shows that we want to do, and then let's go and try and do them. And then not everything worked out, but there was so much response, so much more than I could ever imagine, and that was lovely to see. It's just sort of that amount of people, believing in this as much as I do, and then I sort of. In that blog, I also stated that I wanted collaborative projects, because I feel as G1s we are a family, and that's sort of let's work together on this. Let's make projects together and see if we can make something wonderful together. And that's probably overselling it a bit, but that's been something I've been doing for such a long time. Collaborative projects, again, going back to version 10, collaborating lists that I loved doing. And that's where that mostly came from, just sort of that idea, that sort of mindset of just collaboration is something that I really like doing with people who share my hobbies, and not necessarily my views, because that's boring, but just make some fun thing together about games and movies and just generally the stuff we love.
Nice. And it's nice to see that you rose up on your own to go ahead and actually keep the whole thing going, because this kind of, because I had no idea. I mean, there had been an ebb and flow with content production since the site had launched. You know, there would always be warnings. Well, not really warnings. No, not really an advertising. Not really a commercial either. A PSA, a public service announcement on even on side scrollers about when Gamma Prime was going on kind of like hiatus for about 6 months because school was coming back in session. And that's going way back. Or even Awesome Animators Association. They were saying the same thing, that they had a PSA running from September to December about, you know, like, why hasn't there been a new cartoon or something been out for a while, because they were doing everything in Flash. You know, it's like, school, it's getting cold outside, that's why.
Yeah, I'm in my 4th year of college now, and yeah, things are crazy. It's sort of hard to, that's also why I want to go through the G1 Best Ever thing, just sort of, you know, be less involved with that, just so that other people can do basically do my job.
Right. And we're looking for a bunch of talented young people that are willing to lend Mad Hero a hand to ensure the continued growth and development and delivery of fantastic projects that G1 Features provides. Again, you know how to get in contact with them if you want to help out, seriously. So, you know, that's it's been a long day. I've got MagFest on the brain, so
yeah, no worries.
Now the end game is, of course, producing content, sharing it, getting the word out. What are you looking for with such collaborations? Is there any specific area that is lacking in coverage that you would like, or is there any particular thing that hasn't been broached that you want to see happen? What kind of ideas do you have for the future of G1 Features?
Oh God, I have. That's a tough one, because I am bad at thinking. Like, I've always wanted to do like a game show. I think that's always been something. Yeah. I think, yeah, there's for a while, like especially during the V4 days, there was Who Wants to Be a Screw Attack Millionaire.
Right.
You know, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is such an easy concept to adapt in you know, sort of in sort of a gaming way, and just, you know, making it easy to do. And it's been something on the cards that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, just never really gotten off the ground the way I wanted to. And then, you know, I mean, Jets did G1 Jeopardy at one point, but that was, again, that was something probably too ambitious for its own good. At least in the way that he wanted to do it, which was video and Skype and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's been something that's been on my mind for such a like a good host and someone that can, you know, people who make questions and stuff.
Would that be a casting call for all the viewers at home?
If people are interested, you can always call me.
Ah, yes. So there you go, guys. Yes.
And then for the rest, yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job in terms of what G1s are producing. I think what Omniverse is doing with comics, I think that's really interesting. I think that's, you know, that's something that you don't really see. Let's see, on Screw Attack, which is again mostly gaming, when you can't really blame them because it's a gaming website.
Right.
And then there is also let's see, well, Scroovies has the movie section covered, and then there's also been great articles from. I saw there was recently a really good one from Samurai Spartan, who I think did one about Warcraft. And he's one, like, go check out his stuff. He's a really good writer. I think he deserves some more credit.
Big plug, Samurai Spartan. Go. Yeah. We'll pause right here. Okay, now go.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you just brought up the Scroovies, something that I was actually going to talk to you about next. You've had a long and interesting Twitter relationship with Stickman.
Yeah.
How the Blue Blazes did the two of you actually meet online, and more importantly, put your heads together and produce the Scroovies?
Let's see. I can't even remember when we met. That was probably back in V4 when he just, you know, made tons and tons of blogs. He was like on the top 5 of blogs out there, and top 5 users there, like when the G1 points were there and there was the ranking.
Yeah, the scoreboard on the sidebar, and you could
and he was always
vote things to 11.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not just the vote things to 11, just if you made a comment, if you made a blog, you got points. And that's how I met him. And then when I joined Twitter, we started talking more and more and more, and just become good friends since. So that's something. He's not always the easiest character to work with, but he is a really, really fun person to collaborate with and make projects with. And that's when Cinemattack ended, when they decided to go and make their own show, their own website, Rural Thirds.
Right.
We were basically like, and that was right around the time that G1 Features, when I was starting my G1 Features tenure, and I was like, fuck, I'm out of, I don't have a movie thing anymore. And then basically, I love movies. Movies are probably my second biggest passion, or probably my biggest passion next to gaming. And then basically I asked Dickman, who was also a big movie fan, like, hey, do you want to collaborate and do a movie blog together? And then, yeah, sure. And then we got Flash Benny in there as well, who was also who was from the olden days as well. And then, yeah, that's how it got started, basically, because one thing died and Scroobies got made.
When one door closes, another opens, and all the best to Max Mariner and Larry Fried and Sean Capital? Capital, yeah. For Rule of Thirds. And if you guys don't get the joke, look up what the Rule of Third is, and you'll probably get a little knee slapper out of that one. But yes, all the best to you guys. And
go listen to their podcast. They're actually pretty fun, even if I vehemently disagree with their Mad Max
opinions on the internet. What kind of nonsense is this?
Though Site Mash loves it as well.
So, right, yeah. No, I was actually on Larry's old handle was Flapperdoodle.
Yeah.
And he had Sidetracked as well. Wasn't that his project as well?
That was his podcast, yeah.
Yeah, so I was on that. So, he can definitely hold his own when it comes to the dialogue and talking. So, yes, please, like I said, go ahead, and all the best to those guys. So.
Yes.
But exactly. So Scroobies, I mean, like, you guys have covered everything both far and wide, although anytime Shaun of the Sheep gets brought up.
Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah. Stickman tends to go a little bit crazy over that one. How do you manage to rein him in when that kind of stuff comes up? Because he is unbelievably passionate for that one in particular.
Well, it's not just like Shaun the Sheep. It became very much an in-joke, sort of like a recurring joke.
Okay, I thought it was legitimately serious every time.
Well, he is big on Aardman, and Aardman is the people behind Wallace and Gromit and all that good stuff.
Very distinctive claymation style. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'll throw up a picture right here, and you'll probably recognize it right away.
Yeah, if you've seen Chicken Run, that's them, or Curse the Were-Rabbit and all that other stuff. Anyway, that sort of that just became a thing because the movie's really good. The movie's it's a very, very good movie, and then it opened in the UK in I think March and something like that, and then it was long unclear sort of when its US release was gonna be. And then we finally found out it was August, and then it just sort of it became this running gag, sort of okay, this is something that he's really passionate about, something that he always has to bring in, because there's I don't know which episode it is. He does the banners and thumbnails, and those are always wonderful. But there's one which combines Paul Blart and Ex Machina.
Oh God!
Yeah, that one, the one that is based on all the Tumblr memes. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you look in the mouth, you'll find a certain farm animal there.
Certain animal with cloven hooves.
Yes.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that is just something that's it's just a recurring joke, and nothing really more than that. It's also we have a bunch of recurring jokes, also the whole Flash Penny doesn't have an avatar because reasons, and then. For the rest, how I rein them in is basically I edit it. That's what I. If they say something dumb and stupid, or just if I make a spelling error or grammatical error, I just edit it, done, gone, and not everything is gone. constantly, like, I just read up on the old books and just like, oh god, I should have probably edited that. But usually it's, that, like, I'm the editor of it, and it's...
Right. Of course, you have Final Cut says on it.
Because if I would post it, like, because we're doing it via Skype, if I would just post, like, the whole thing unedited, it would be madness.
You should do that as an April Fool's joke some year.
I think did we do an April Fool's thing? I don't think so.
It's not top of mind to me, so maybe.
No.
But that would be something else.
Yeah.
Ooh,
but then also, of course, the big climax of the Shaun the Sheep joke is that the movie bombed when it opened in the U.S. Like, didn't even crack the top 10 box office.
And that's really tragic, considering that even back when I was in middle school, which was almost 20 years ago, I really don't like saying that out loud. No. Yeah, almost. I'm hanging on by a thread. That I became aware of Wallace and Gromit, and that had quite an underground following, so by the time Chicken Run came out, that did extremely well over here. I'm just surprised that people just didn't recognize the style and go out and see it in droves.
I think I'm surprised. Yeah, I think because unless, like, again with sometimes DreamWorks, people don't realize what is a DreamWorks film and what's not, or like, no, like, do you know who Blue Sky Studio is?
I know the name, but if you said a movie, I'd probably be able to recognize it.
They're the Ice Age guys.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say
many people think they're DreamWorks because I don't know. That's just most people just don't recognize that style, or just aren't big enough into animation. For most people, it's all just Disney.
Right. Yeah. What I hear more often than not, anytime a CG animated movie comes out, is like, oh, you see that new Pixar film, and I'm like,
pretty much.
Despicable Me is not Pixar.
Yeah, Despicable Me is something completely different again. Yeah.
Not even close. So yeah, go watch Shaun of the Sheep. That's the moral of that story right there. So now that we have covered your extensive career within Screw Attack as a G1, what do you do outside of Screw Attack when you're not logged into the site? You have the freedom of leaving, unlike Hellman. According to his profile, he never leaves the site. Now, you said you're on your 4th year of college. What's going on in there? What is your area of study?
I am currently studying media and entertainment management.
Oh!
Yeah. So
how about that?
Experience, yeah. But yeah, that is what I'm currently involved with. That is something I've been doing for 4 years now. This is my 4th year going in. And I'm doing half a year extra because I didn't have enough points to go on internship last year. So 1.5 years to go. And then, yeah, that is basically what I do with my life right now, just being a student, paying rent for living, and occasionally playing the occasional video games. But who likes video games anyway?
What? Who? Anybody here? I'm sorry. I guess somebody does. I heard you in the back. I guess somebody here likes video games. So, yeah, no, what university are you attending?
I'm currently at the NHTV in Breda, which does all kinds of stuff. They actually have let me think. They do hotel management.
Oh, see, hospitality is really important.
And all. But most interesting for people here is that they also do. They have a gaming college as well.
Yes.
They are actually one of the biggest here, I believe, right now. But I am not doing any of that. I am part of entertainment management, sort of going into production of TV, movies, and all that stuff.
Well, it certainly is helping you with corralling and wrangling the G1 Features project. I'm certainly sure you've been able to parlay your experience in there from what you're learning in the classroom into this little outfit you have going on right here.
It's definitely something that's, sort of taught me things, but obviously that's all a bit more professional. And
right.
I'd like to think this is something more for fun.
Yeah, but organization skills are something that are still important to have.
Yeah.
Now, is there I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was
okay. Now, you said this school in Breda. It's is there any one particular program that it's known for over all others? Kind of like how at the University of Virginia, its medical division is pretty renowned in the United States. Is there any particular area of study that this university has under its belt that people may know?
I don't think we have a lot of international students, so I guess, but we I guess we were ranked the highest in terms of like international entertainment management. So I guess that is what we're best known, or at least in the Netherlands. Let's.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's keep it local to everybody's base of living. I guess would be the best.
Yeah,
way to
but there's all kinds of nationalities here, like mostly Germans, but people from
the Germans.
Yeah, the Germans, Belgium as well. A lot of people from Bulgaria, surprisingly. But
interesting, because that's not exactly across the street.
No, but well, it's still Europe.
Right, exactly, but it's not exactly as close as, say, Germany.
No, Germany's like our next door neighbor.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is what we're mostly known. And I guess our gaming academy is pretty good as well, but I'm not qualified to really talk about that because
understandably, this was an off-the-cuff question. I just didn't know if you knew, but I'll have to go and look that up on my own because I'm always fascinated about any institution of higher learning that actually offers a gaming study. I mean, we've always had DigiPen over here in the United States, but and Columbia University actually did start offering a game design class almost 11 years ago. There hasn't been a ton of movement in that across all of them. It's normally still the same thing of like, well, you start out with computer science and then you work into everything else.
It's baby steps.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're getting there. It's just nice to know that there actually is... and I'm sure there are others, but it's refreshing to hear that I have direct contact with somebody that actually knows of a university that actually has that as one of their main headlighting areas. So that's pretty cool. So, what is the end game with when you've completed your studies? What is the end game once you have your bachelor's? What is your life goals? What is your ambition? What do you see being as a career with this? The infamous 5 years from now question.
Yeah. I'm very much a guy that tends to live in the present, just sort of like, I'll see what's next up in 5 or 10 years. I can't really know, but like what my dream job would probably be is like work at a company like Legendary or Warner Brothers and all that. So like going into that kind of film production, sort of, because I love movies and I would love making movies. You learn making movies here as well, and it's a process that I've learn to really like. It's super, super stressful, but it's something that you learn. And also, we live in a golden age of television. I think the television industry is something that is like. I've been studying Netflix a lot for this past 4 years for this course, and it's a company
very wise decision.
It's a company that fascinates me, and that's also something that I just sort of interesting. Like, okay, how do they work? What do they do? And just sort of go in that market.
They do magic is what they do.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen, like, you have a Netflix subscription?
I do, yes.
Have you seen Narcos, which is their new show?
No, I haven't. And this past semester had killed me so much that I was, like, decompressing and, like, getting caught up with, like, 6 months of games. So I still actually have a back season of House of Cards that I need to watch. Now it sounds like I have another thing that I need to add to my queue as well. Give me a brief synopsis of this new show.
Pablo Escobar, basically.
I've heard about this. About how he waged the war against his own government and they caved in?
Yeah, basically. And also the DEA hunting him down and all that stuff. It's great. It's really, really good. A lot of Spanish, so it'll be a lot of subtitle reading.
I'm totally okay with that. I mean, if... I hate to use this as an example, but most of the anime that I had watched in the mid-90s was dubbed, and dubbed quite well. My first real cinematic experience of watching anything with subtitles was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, as it was for many Americans.
For a lot of Americans, that was the case.
Yeah, and it wasn't as jarring as an experience as I thought it was going to be, so I'm actually kind of okay with that. So, I mean, it's... I had heard about it in passing from somebody else, but I didn't know that series was on Netflix. Now I'm genuinely excited to go and check this out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it while this was rendering and getting posted for publication.
Yeah, I don't hear a lot. Like, it recently got announced for a second season, so I guess people watching it, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, so, check it out. And also check out Sense 8, which is made by the Wachowskis.
Oh, good.
That's from The Matrix. Very, very weird, but really, really good.
Their brand of weird is a good weird, unless if you talk about Matrix 3.
It is something that I feel the critics got wrong, but that is just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then for the rest, that is something. Like, Netflix is just a great... I've been studying a company for, like, the past 3 years, basically, just sort of see what they're doing, because they're such a fascinating company.
Yeah, they indeed are.
Yeah. And then for the rest, yeah, right now I'm spending my time playing Phantom Pain, so I'm not really doing much.
We'll get to that in a second because I want to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Now, I didn't expect this tangent on the area of film and Netflix. The rise of digital distribution to not just game consoles, but to set-top boxes, and now even to smart TVs and mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. The rise of digital distribution has really changed the landscape. Netflix was really at the edge of that. I actually got upgraded to fiber optic internet in 2008 in preparation of Netflix streaming.
Cool.
That's how much confidence I had. I also was making a very comfortable 5-figure salary back then, so I could afford to do that without thinking about it. Now I'm a broke college student again, but hey, the circle of life. Now, when you said you studied Netflix very closely, you of course have taken into consideration their massive trip up with Quickster when they were trying to separate their physical media division from the digital side of it. It's still one company. Do you feel that in that time period, other digital distribution mediums like Crackle or Amazon Prime Video have closed that gap, or do you still feel that they're kind of in a league of their own right now?
I think internationally, definitely. I think internationally they're in a league of their own because they're spreading so far and wide. And I think the only company that can really beat them right now in terms of that kind of internationality is HBO, and that's
home box office, right?
Well, yeah, like Game of Thrones, True Detective, at least
right, yeah, and
all that.
Yeah, now that actually reminded me that HBO Go is actually going to be available without having a cable subscription in the very near future.
Oh, neat! That's actually really nice to have then, because right now, like Netflix, because I live in the Netherlands, I don't really have stuff like Crackle. I don't have Hulu here.
Right.
Amazon Prime, like Amazon. I'm not sure. I need to check if I can make because I have a UK account for Amazon and all kinds of other stuff.
I would check to see if it is, because I know that I'm went from speaking to a bunch of streaming services that may have been only available in the United States. It's that I'm trying to broaden my horizons here and asking more of a global market question, because guys, in case if you haven't noticed, we've had a couple of Canadians on recently. The G1 nation is just not in the United States as
we have. European.
Yeah, exactly. There was actually a quite healthy European representation at an SGC. I hope you all, especially you, of course, can actually make it out at some point for that. But
I'd love to.
Yeah. But, if I win the lottery, God damn it, I will get you out there some way. But yeah. I'm sorry, you were saying European branding recognition.
Yeah. I think with Amazon, they recently required the new show from the Top Gear people, Jeremy Clarkson and all that.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a huge deal, and then we'll wait and see. I think they are definitely the ones that could challenge Netflix for domination, especially with how, you see all the markets for Amazon, but it's not quite there yet, but it could definitely be a contender.
Mm-hmm. I still personally would hold Netflix as the standard, although I'm really genuinely surprised, as probably you were, when they announced that Clarkson, Clarkson, May, and Hammond were. I don't know why Richard's last name just flew out of my brain right there. When they said they were going to Amazon instead of Netflix, I was like, oh my gosh, things just got heated.
Yeah, it's basically. I think with the streaming wars, and it's odd to call it that, is the closest thing we have to the console wars, because there's nothing else really quite like it. Because you also see with, for example, Hulu has all the Cartoon Network stuff.
How about that?
Netflix, that Netflix used to have, and it's sort of like a continuing battle of exclusivity. Okay, we want this, we want that, and just sort of, okay, who can we get the rights from to get it exclusively on our channel, and basically like what the TV markets used to have, but not. I don't. And then we see stuff like the Top Gear stuff, like going for huge amounts of money to Amazon, and people paying attention to Amazon and their original programming. This is only going to be good for them in sense of like, okay, this is what they are gonna.
It probably is a killer app they've finally been looking for, because they, I think, didn't Daredevil just get renewed for another season on Netflix?
Daredevil's been renewed. Yes, it's getting a
second
season.
I mean that's they're looking for high profile content whenever they can. I think they just landed
Netflix has
something
the Marvel
with that.
stuff. That is pretty. That's pretty big for them. So that's. I guess, yeah, exciting stuff ahead in the terms of also Netflix making their own original movies.
Yes.
Basically, because if you can't get content from other people, you make your own content.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we're going to see how it's going to go. I think it's a very fascinating battle in the next few years, especially when it's going more and more international. Indeed.
And, that's actually something that just occurred to me. You said you wanted to go into film production and stuff like that, too, that it would actually potentially even give independent filmmakers an opportunity to get their stuff seen by actually kind of having like an Xbox Live indie games section, but for film over on Netflix. Or
I think that is
that a thing?
I don't know. Maybe I do think there is a lot of independent stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's normally through like a distributor. Like they have to like apply for a license and have it
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be the great equalizer if such a thing ever existed. Hey Netflix, there's an idea for you if you didn't have one already. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. But that's not the reason why I brought
We're doing 4-picture deals with Adam Sandler, basically.
No more Pixels. You're done. You're finished. Movie Bob review here. No, that was a venomous review. My goodness, I've never heard Bob so angry in years. So, anyway, moving on. Metal Gear.
Yeah, loving it.
What mission are you on?
Don't really know. I think like mission 18.
Oh my gosh, you're way ahead of me.
I thought I've been playing slow. I've been doing a lot of side-up stuff. So basically, that's what I've been spending my time with. And basically, like almost all my free time is being spent on Metal Gear right now. And I don't have a lot of free time, unfortunately, now. But yeah, it's really good. In terms of gameplay, at least. The story right now, like I'm surprised how light it is compared to other Metal Gears.
Yeah, and
except for the beginning, which is all like
oh my goodness. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting it to be like at all. I thought that was more going to be one gigantic cinematic, and it wasn't. No. And we're all going to be speaking from here on out in very vague terms in a spoiler-free kind of way, unlike the Death Battle, because I am certain. And if you probably somehow managed to watch this 6 months from now, there are probably some people that still haven't finished it.
People will kill you if you spoil stuff on Fanbait. It's crazy.
My God, yeah.
I've seen the weirdest thing being regarded spoilers. Like, it's just...
Yeah, it's like, I found a puppy. Okay, the puppy was in a trailer a long time ago. You can't get mad about that.
Yeah.
But, you're right. The tonality, well, not tonality. That's what I saw you say on Twitter with Stickman earlier today about it being all over the place. And yeah, they actually have been. There have been some, like in Snake Eater of all games, there's been some extremely lighthearted moments followed up by... a moment of tenderness between Snake and Eva to a torture scene. It's all over the place in terms of that.
It's what you expect with Hideo Kojima.
Exactly. But then there's also the whole thing of like, where's the narrative going? And I think it might be a lot of people aren't listening to the cassette tapes.
I've been listening to the cassette tape, so I'm
okay. So that's the
but
one
even
thing
then,
I've
I'm
been
surprised
doing.
like how little Kiefer Sutherland gets to say. Even that,
I think so far he has said more in Ground Zeroes and those cassette tapes than he's actually said in this so far.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's really surprising. It's basically Kaz and Ocelot doing all the talking.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering, and I am not in the line of thinking that people are doing that as in backlash to like they had Kiefer casted. I'm not one of those people.
Oh.
I'm wondering if it's like he's trying to make us project ourselves onto him, and I never personally liked that, only because that's what a lot of the Mr. Aonuma said, that he was making Link still silent after he took over directing duties from Mr. Miyamoto because he wanted the character to project themselves onto Link, and I'm like, I can't project myself onto an elf boy. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. He's a silent protagonist to me, I don't know if that's where I have a theory, and I guess we can talk about it offline when this is done, but I don't think they're keeping Big Boss silent as a means
Well, he's not silent. He just doesn't say a whole lot.
He doesn't say a whole lot. Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to figure out why that's the case. But yeah, the last op I finished was number 4, where you had to destroy the communications array.
Oh yeah.
And I had gotten 5 out of 6 of the bonus objectives done, and I was like, why can't I airlift these bloody containers out here? And then I had to go into my art research and development tree and find out that I don't have enough people to make a Fulton recovery device that will airlift those containers. So I had to silently bite my tongue and move forward, and know I'm going to just have to come back and revisit that mission again later. Hopefully with a Woo pistol that has a stronger suppressor, because I keep breaking them.
I just send like a new batch of like ammo for you to Fulton, just do that.
Yeah, I do that too. It's just that I'm used to carrying more than one with me, or at the rate that I was playing Peace Walker, that I had that research taken care of very early on in the game, that it wasn't a problem. But
there's so much micromanaging in this game. It's crazy.
If you guys have ever played Peace Walker, it's like that times 10, and I'm not saying that figuratively. It really is, minus the Monster Hunter missions, because I am not grinding out missions against Arathalos just to get Mother Base maxed out for a drop that's less than 0.5%. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So we could keep you here all evening with Metal Gear discussion and everything. What? Let's tie up the Metal Gear chit chat with this thing. You are about twice as far as long as I am. What is the thing that has surprised you most in a good way so far as the game is?
Generally just how open it is. And not just generally open world. I feel that the open world has its advantages and disadvantages, in the sense that you can do so much in it, but in the sense there's also a lot of open space where you can do pretty much nothing. Besides maybe tranquilize a few sheep and then Fulton them.
I'm just waiting for the day that I go back to Mother Base and Ocelot says, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. But then, like, just in terms of gameplay, how open it is, that you can go either the very stealthy route, which is what I'm doing because I love stealth in games.
Yep.
And then almost immediately go all Rambo, pretty much, like get your rocket launcher and then just mess everyone up. And that's something that, like, it's a very open game that allows people to experiment, and you don't really see that in a lot of video games. Just let people experiment with gameplay styles like that.
And you know what? You've actually nailed the point there really strong. Is dynamic would be the word I would use in this instance. That it is open world in so many ways that the way you described it, going from sneaky to Rambo-y in one fell swoop, that it actually allows for that level of flexibility. And there was a long period of time in interviews where Kojima was reluctantly comparing his game to another game that had a 5 in the title, and feeling that his game was going to be a disappointment in comparison. Well, you have almost the exact opposite there, where GTA 5 had the action focus, but it also had stealth, but the stealth wasn't as nearly as fleshed out.
No, absolutely
and you
not.
had to earn your stealth. It wasn't like a certain degree of stealthiness that you had. It almost felt like it was a chance of, like, you have a 25% chance of not being seen, you will be invisible to the enemy within 25% of the range, you know? Whereas I think Metal Gear found that sweet spot where you can be stealthy and still be action-oriented without extreme consequence to the player.
People are allowed to play how they want, and I think that is something. It's also I find it a surprisingly open game for new players. Like if you play Ground Zeroes to sort of get the idea, and then read the page about Peace Walker to sort of understand the context. But basically, I think this is a good game, generally a good game for newcomers to the series. And I haven't maybe gotten far enough to really get to the stuff that really connects to the more of the older stuff. But basically, all you need to know is that Cypher are the bad guys, you are the Diamond Dogs are the good guys, and you are trying to see what happens, at the end of Ground Zeroes, what happened there.
Yeah, for those of you who have played some of the Metal Gear games and don't know why we keep talking about Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain in separate chapters, think of it this way. Ground Zeroes, if you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, is the tanker. The Phantom Pain is Big Shell.
Yeah,
like,
I think most people know like the Metal Gear, the Ground Zero span of painting by now.
Right, but just in the very small off chance that you hadn't, and you're and another thing that you I'm going to echo that too is the actual bloody size of that map. Afghanistan keeps getting bigger and bigger with every mission that I complete. Just the area that you can operate within when you first show up is pretty damn big.
Yeah,
it is. I would conservatively say it's probably 5 times bigger than what Ground Zeroes was. And now that the entire map of what I'm starting to see is Afghanistan, which still isn't done, there's still a border around it, which means it can be expanded out in your bigger areas of operation. It just keeps getting bigger. And it doesn't feel like any of the places that you actually go to are wasted or just there by happenstance. You know, like in Fallout, when you come across a settlement that isn't connected to a story, it still has a purpose in being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not especially easy to do in a sandbox game. No. You know, in Grand Theft Auto, it's if you come across another apartment complex, it's background noise. It doesn't serve a purpose other than just being scene dressing. You go into some of these settlements in Afghanistan, you find a POW that you can liberate, and then you find out by chance it's a bonus mission objective to another mission that you were unknowingly working on. You know, little things like that. But then again, on the other hand, you're like, it's very open in some places where you're just walking. I tend to find those times to listen to cassette tapes. Yeah. But
like you get like just a cassette tape with all the 80s music.
Yeah, definitely do that. Although if I have a lot of GMP to burn, I will just go ahead and call a helicopter and just get airlifted to the place that I'm supposed to go. Although I wish it wasn't as expensive, like when you're within the theater of operation. I wish it would be maybe a third of what it is, because I like, my headcanon is at least that Pequot is circling above, and he would come down and pick you up and move you elsewhere. You know, if it got like, say, beyond an hour of you playing, then it would cost more because you would have to go back to base and refuel. I don't know. I'm getting overcomplicated. So anyway,
well, that's Metal Gear for you.
Yeah, exactly. We could keep you here for a whole hour just on that alone. But that's not the reason why I brought you here. So, do you have any guilty gaming pleasures?
Oh, guilty gaming pleasures. Oh, that's
like, for instance, the My Little Pony game on iOS. I will find myself playing that more often than I care to admit. But you know what? It's like SimCity with ponies.
I am currently looking through my library, just sort of like, okay, what is a game that I really played, and probably, you know, or I guess one of them would probably be like the one that I base my avatar on, is that Suda51 game.
Oh,
or some of my sort of, you know, not the standard really, and also stuff like Lollipop Chainsaw and stuff like that. Just sort of
Terra Strong.
Yeah, just sort of that kind of game. That's like Suda51.
Suda did both of those, didn't he? I know he did No More Heroes, but was he responsible for Lollipop as well, or am I thinking of somebody else?
He did that together with James Gunn.
Oh my gosh! Wait, James Gunn, the director?
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy guy. He co-wrote it.
What?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yes,
that's crazy. I know he had a hand in freaking Loco Cycle, but I had no idea that he had anything.
In that,
but, I didn't even know what he looked like. I just saw him in the credits, like, oh, that's crazy. He was the guy holding the ceremony at the beginning of the game. Oh, duh, I am an idiot. But yeah, I had no idea he had wrote Lollipop Chainsaw. That's wild and crazy.
Yeah, but this was also before his Guardians days, when he was the director of stuff like Slither and Super. Two incredible, like. If you watch those two films, you understand why he worked on Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, Slither was... you talk about the one with the little, like, snake slug things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
When that movie came out, it felt like something, like a nightmare had been pulled out of my head and put into cinema. Because I was playing Magic the Gathering, and there was a whole expansion about the Slither invasion, which looked very slimmer...
Similar.
Wow, it's a Freudian slip. Yes, they looked very similar to those slivers in the movie. And I had a particularly bad game where my friend Bill had more of those in play that I could physically block, and my side was completely overwhelmed, and he just massacred everybody. It was a 6-way game, and he just destroyed everybody because he kept getting counters and counters and counters and just wiped everybody out. When that movie came out, it's like, this is a bad dream that has come to life.
It's a messed up movie.
It is a messed up movie. But it's messed up in a campy, funny way.
Horror comedy is such a hard thing to do. So when it works, you're just happy that it does.
Yeah, seriously. Like Evil Dead 2, for example, somehow managed to strike
Evil
that
Dead
sweet
2.
science.
Dawn of the Dead as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawn of the Dead especially. Allegedly, they're supposed to be...
Not Dawn of the Dead.
Right, yeah. Allegedly, they're supposed to be filming the second Mallrats movie in that same mall. Whether that comes to pass is another story entirely. So,
it's Kevin Smith, so it probably will.
Probably will. So, and what is your currently your favorite game and why?
Of this year?
Yeah, or of all time.
Oh, of all time, easily Pokemon Silver.
Silver?
That's a big childhood game, and Silver
Nice.
just felt, it expanded on Red and Blue so very well, and then it added, that region as well. And while the remakes are objectively better, that is just, they're remakes. They're just
right. Yeah, they built
have the
upon a
same
foundation.
stuff, and they've added to it, and that stuff improves the game, and it adds new mechanics that work well. But it's part of childhood nostalgia that just makes it really, really. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Just the neighbor saying that I have to be a bit quieter.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about the time.
Yeah, it's.
No,
but anyway, Pokemon Silver. That's just that's my childhood. That's something that I just love, near and dear to my heart. And there's no franchise that has affected me more than Pokemon has. And then currently, I think this year, easily Phantom Pain right now, despite not having beaten it yet.
That's definitely in my number one seed right now for this year as well. But yeah, no, Silver. What we all experienced with Red, Blue, and Yellow was pretty magical, and then Silver just blew it up. Silver, Gold, and Crystal blew it up even more.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't replaced your internal battery, I suggest you do so sometime soon.
Yeah, I've done it once. It was something that I felt very uncomfortable doing because you don't want to mess up.
Right, exactly. Because there's a way to do it while the game is running, and that's a really risky one. And then there's a backup device that you can get, but those things are not cheap.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because there's one of my Pokemon saves because I have all my old cartridges, but I'm trying to think which one of which died, but I can't really remember right now. But yeah, that happened, and that was annoying.
So yeah, now and you're currently playing Phantom Pain, but was there anything else before that, or was it mostly predominantly tied down with school studies?
No, because I had quite a bit of summer vacation. Let's see. I played through Xenoblade Chronicles.
On the DS.
That's a game that I really, really loved when it came out on Wii, and I love the new 3DS version as well. I mean, it's a downgraded remake, but it works really well. And it's
a downgraded remake.
In the sense, sort of like they have to fit it on 3DS.
Oh, okay.
Originally on Wii, and that's it's not remake is the wrong word. Port.
Okay.
Better word. And then for the rest, Arkham Knight, I played.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That was good. That was good as well. Just sort of more of an impulse buy because I got it for cheap. And then I really liked Dragon Age. I got that around Christmas. Dragon Age Inquisition, and that was really good as well. And for the rest, right now, Splatoon, always fun.
Oh yeah. Especially when they just had another Splatfest weekend, did they not?
I don't remember, but I've been playing that game in a while because of Phantom Pain.
Oh, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, how can you be a kid and or a squid when Mother Base is calling for help?
Mother Base is probably the worst thing about Phantom Pain, just how big it gets. Like, it's so hard to traverse.
You know what? When I got back and the R&D strut and the support strut had been built, the fact that they actually had a Jeep there for me to drive, and it's like, my God, it takes me like a minute literally to drive over there. It just
more time to listen to cassettes.
Yeah, exactly, more time to do that and just like listen to all that great '80s jam. So, we're the clock on the wall is telling me we're almost done here. But are there any personal projects going on, whether it be on the site or off the site, that you are working on that you feel like sharing with everybody watching at home right now?
I'm working on a short film for my project. It's very, very early in development, so I can't really say anything about it right now.
Pre-production phase, storyboarding.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, script has to be rewritten and all that good stuff, like preparation, getting actors and all that stuff.
Right.
And for the rest, yeah, like I mentioned, we're gonna reboot G1 Best Ever, sort of. But that is something that I'm still sort of involved in right now, but trying to get myself out of and getting it finished, and then letting them strut their wings and do their own thing. And then after that, more Scroovies probably. We just uploaded episode 39. 40 will be coming in 2 weeks, so that will be fun. Because that's a bi-weekly thing. So
right. On the off week, as it were.
Yeah, just wait a week for stuff to happen and then discuss.
All the good stuff. So, anyway, in parting words, anything that you would like to share with the G1s about you? Who is the real Mad Hero? I know your name, and you've asked me to keep that out of the way, and I am doing just that.
I think most people on Twitter know it, because it used to be my name for a very, very long time until
so those of you who have been around for a while know they have privileged information. But
the ones that know, well, it used to be my name until I changed it to just a bunch of puns. Like right now, it's the Phantom Penny.
I like that one.
Yeah, it used to be Indominus Rex, based on like the Indominus Rex of the Jurassic World. But basically, just regular guy, just making blogs on Screw Attack. There's not really much to it. Coming from an all different country, you can probably see it right there. You know, that's the Netherlands. It's not something you usually hear about. Or I think there's Dirk, but he doesn't really do stuff on the site anymore, and a bunch of others. But just a regular guy on Screw Attack.
And a very patient and personable guy, we'll say, guys. Yeah, so, please, if you're not following him, please do him a solid and follow him on the Twitter machine on my behalf. That would mean the world to me because, like I said, I owe this guy here a great deal of thanks for everything that he's done and allowed this program to come back and let me be a part of that. So, good deal. Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Any closing words for everybody?
Yeah, if you stuff can be frustrating on Screw Attack, like the blog editor and stuff, and all that good stuff. It's easy to see the pointlessness of sort of what is going on. Of why am I doing this? Is it worth doing? But generally, just if it's something you love, genuinely love doing, just. To quote Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
I was wondering if you were going to go down that road.
I have to. It's not no other choice. But
do it. That's 2 episodes in a row we've had to reference Mr. LaBeouf, but that's quite all right.
But just do what you want to do, and if that's making blogs, videos, or run what I'm doing and running this sort of very mini network thing. Just go and do that stuff. It's sort of, and it's easy to see the downside. It's easy to see the negatives, but it's the best thing is being positive, even if that sometimes can bite you in the ass or whatnot. Just be happy with what you're doing and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's what I've got to say.
Good, awesome, warm words of encouragement indeed. I will join you back up on the Skype machine momentarily, sir. It's been a due honor and a pleasure to finally get some FaceTime, as it were, because we have talked online for, I'd say, probably close to 3 years by this point.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But it's been good to actually hear your voice, see your face, and get a match to the name, both on the site and in IRL, and have it all put together. So thank you very much, and I'll be right back with you in just one moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's who I would tentatively call my boss for this little outfit we got going on right here, MadHero15. So yes, please, if you have not done him a solid, please go ahead and follow him on Twitter. And also, while you're at it, please to go ahead and sub G1 Features up on ScrewAttack.com. And while you're at it, go and follow me here, Sergeant Harvey, on the Twitter machine and also the YouTube channel on which this has been hosted on as well, because if you can go ahead and follow both of those and you want to stay in touch with G1 Features, doing both will streamline the viewing experience immeasurably, because when you've got time on the internet, it's easy to get lost in it. Why not make the most of it in efficiency, and then you can get back to watching cat gifs, because that's all we want to do. So anyways, thank you so much for going and watching here. Feel free to follow me on any of the services on the scrolling marquee below, whether it be Hitbox, YouTube, Twitch, what have you. You see all those lovely names on there. Tom the Iron Man on Screw Attack, Hitbox, and Twitch, and of course Iron Man 3582 on YouTube. And of course that is a throwback to something from my past that I promise I will explain at some point in time. I know that I say that every episode, but it will come to pass at some point. So thank you so much for watching, guys. What a day, what a day. So good morning, good day, and good evening to whenever you're watching this. And also, once more, thanks again to Matt Hero, Sean Bolin, Sean Hines, and Craig Skistimus for giving me this opportunity to keep the G1 Features program going. So, one more time, good morning, good day, and good evening to whenever you're watching this, and hope to see you again here next time on the G1 Interviews on Screw Attack. I need coffee. I am so very sorry. Good day, good evening. My God. Good morning, good day, and good evening to whenever you're watching this, and thank you so much for watching the G1 interview exclusively on G1 Features here on ScrewAttack.com. Good night, everybody. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching to the end as always. I gotta tell you, it was a great honor to sit down with the boss himself of G1 Features and really get to know how Excalibur was handed down from one generation to the next and how G1 Features got to the program that it is today. As I said earlier, it would mean a great deal to me if you took the time to follow MadHero on Twitter and tell him thank you for all the work he's done for keeping this program on track. Also, if you haven't checked out the last interview with G1 Sambam, feel free to click on the annotation and get caught up on this student of film applying all that he's learned to become one of the most formidable G1s in the YouTube game. As always, guys, please take the time to spread the word that the G1 interview is being updated and released on a regular basis. Share it on all social media platforms that you're actively involved with and signal boost whenever you can. The program's reach is only as strong as your ability and willingness to share and support it, and you've certainly been a passionate bunch, waving the flag of the G1 Nation very, very high. Wave that flag even higher and bring all the G1s, both old and new, to ScrewAttack.com, the site we all love so very much. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys. Now, are you sharing in a joint apartment, or?
Yeah, a joint apartment. Like, I have one room and my neighbor has the other. So,
oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I didn't know it was going to cause a problem with the noise and everything like that.
No, it's my fault. I was getting too loud at some point. So then.
Oh, we were talking about Metal Gear. It's hard to not get passionate when you're talking about that.
Yeah, just sort of like have to, sort of realize, oh fuck, it's 12:30. I should probably, and it's Monday, so school starts.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so gotta be respectful for that. So I'm gonna probably go and sleep right now.
Right, and not blast nuclear at full volume.
No.
Oh, then you would seriously be in trouble.